Today we are going to explain agricultural diversification and rural development. Agriculture diversification. Diversification simply implies the range of products produced by a production unit. So agricultural diversification simply refers in a system of farming that encourages the production of variety or range of plants, animals, and other products. The main argument in favor of diversification is that it reduces risk. Hence, the supporters of agricultural diversification argue that it establishes or stabilizes the income of farmers as diversified farming reduces uncertainties of agricultural activities. By diversification of agriculture, surplus workers in agriculture are engaged in some other allied farm activities and non-farm activities. Agricultural diversification thus involves shifting of resources from less profitable product mix to more profitable product mix. It concentrates mainly on horticultures, dairy poultry, fishery, etc. It thus engages the surplus labor in some allied farm activities. Now let us see the benefits of agricultural diversification. Agricultural diversification has several important benefits in an overpopulated agricultural economy like India. Number one, means of rural development. Through diversification of small farms, rapid rural development of India may be achieved. In our country, most of the holdings are small holdings and most of the farmers are small and marginal farmers. These small and marginal farmers mainly produce low value subsistence crops. Hence their income is low. Most of them lie below the poverty line. Diversification of small farms can raise the level of income of small and marginal farmers. Therefore, diversification ensures development in rural India. Number two, way of meeting growing demand for non-cereal crops. In India, with the rise in per capita income, demand for fruits, vegetables, milk and milk products, meat, fish, eggs, etc. are rising day by day. To meet demand for such products, their domestic supply should be increased. Such growing demand cannot be met through imports. Agricultural diversification in small farms may increase the supply of such goods. Number three, shift from subsistence farming to commercial farming. Small and marginal farmers generally produce for their own subsistence. They do not produce for the market. This retards the development of agricultural sector. Through agricultural diversification, small landholders will shift from low value food and non-food crops to high value food and non-food crops. They will switch over from low yielding local plant varieties to high yielding plant varieties. Small farmers will shift from subsistence farming to commercial farming. This will again result in prosperity in the rural sector. Next is stability in farm income. farm income is very much unstable. If there is only one crop, there may be crop failure due to low rainfall, attack of pests and insects, abnormal weather condition, etc. If there is diversified farming producing various goods and crops, not a single crop, then the risk will be much reduced. Agriculture diversification can thus stabilize farms' income. Number 5. Alternative employment opportunities. Agriculture diversification provides alternative employment opportunities in rural India to the farmers. It can thus lessen the population pressure on land and reduce the employment problem. Moreover, agricultural diversification is labor intensive and hence most desirable for an overpopulated country like India. Number 6. More efficient use of resources. Diversified crop livestock farms can make better use of fooders, crop residues and other low value components of crops. These farms can also use natural manures and biofertilizers. This increases land fertility, soil nutrition and different useful organic matters in land. Next, number 7, protection to agricultural environment. Diversified farming may be helpful for maintaining congenial agricultural environment. It can protect the agricultural environment from the loss of natural biodiversity. It is utmost necessary for sustainable development. Otherwise, development process in future generations will be jeopardized or may even be halted. Thus, we have seen that planned diversified farming has many advantages both from individuals' point of view and from society's point of view. It can raise and stabilize farmers' income, can help in meeting and can check degradation in ecosystem, can control pestilence, can ensure better use of resources, and moreover, it can help in sustainable development. Hence, even if the traditional farming may in some cases be more profitable than diversified farming, we should opt for the diversified farming for its contribution in maintaining congenial ecosystem and biodiversity, and thus its contribution towards sustainable development. The next will see the constraints to agricultural diversification. There are various obstacles, constraints to agricultural diversification in an underdeveloped country like India. These obstacles can be divided into 4 categories. These are socio-economic constraints, technological constraints, infrastructural constraints, and physical constraints. Now let us see what are the socio-economic constraints. Socio-economic constraints arise due to social and economic conditions prevailing in the farm economy. Socio-economic constraints in relation to agricultural diversification refers to the constraints which arise due to some social and economic conditions prevailing in the farm economy. These are most of the farmers in underdeveloped economy like India are small and marginal farmers. They are poor. They do not have the required funds for investment in crop and non-crop enterprise. Agricultural diversification requires extra investment of capital and labor. Small and marginal farmers very often cannot afford that investment. Next, small and marginal farmers are uneducated. Very often they are custom bound. They are not interested to learn about crop diversification and crop rotation in order to reduce risk. Very often they regard that canvassing and demonstrations by government officials in favor of agricultural diversification as impractical and bookish concept. This is impractical bookish concept. Next, most of the farmers prefer to grow basic food required for their self-consumption on their own land. It is a matter of traditional practice. It retards a farmer to shift to commercial farming or complete specialization in non-crop products. So these are the socio-economic obstacles. Next is technological constraints. Technological constraints in relation to agriculture diversification refers to inadequacy and or inappropriateness of the present technological knowledge in the rural areas. Let us see what are its problems. The present level of technological development for some high value fruits and vegetables is not adequate. It does not also suit various agroclimatic situations in India. Next, crops produced for exports should maintain some international standards. Our technological knowledge in this respect is very much limited. Next, crops obtained through agricultural diversification should be properly processed, packaged, and marketed. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to enter markets of developed countries. The knowledge of proper processing and marketing is also lacking in our country. The third constraint is infrastructural constraints. Infrastructural constraints with regard to agricultural diversification refer to those constraints which arise due to insufficient government facilities and inadequate public works. These are small farmers in backward areas do not even have the facilities of road transportation. They do not have storage facilities which are utmost necessary for highly perishable fruits and flowers. Many of them cannot enjoy irrigation facilities and facilities of using electricity. Small and marginal farmers have limited access to institutional credit. Next, farmers do not get support price in case of crop failure due to a new experiment to seed, crop, or method of production. Finally, farmers do not get proper and timely information on price and other related matters about their crops and the market. Fourth, physical constraints. Physical constraints in the context of agricultural diversification refers to those constraints which arise due to a size of plot of lands, climatic conditions, etc. Some of these physical constraints are: all types of land and locations are not equally suitable for agriculture diversification. For example, we can say tea plantation require sloping land. So production of tea is not possible in all areas. Next, some fruits and vegetables cannot grow where rainfall is high. For some crops, large plots are necessary. But in your country, average size of land holdings is very small. So in some cases, consolidation of land holding is necessary. Some crops cannot grow in a dry areas. Therefore, sufficient agro research is necessary to determine or develop suitable seeds for different types of soil and different climatic conditions. Measures to remove constraints of agricultural diversification. We have seen that there are various obstacles to agricultural diversification in an underdeveloped country like India. Those obstacles suggest remedial measures. In particular, we may give some suggestions. The traditional agricultural policies in India have not been able to expand diversified agriculture. Hence, the existing agricultural policies should be modified, and wherever necessary, new policy measures should be adopted. Here, we mention some of the measures needed for the expansion of diversification of agricultural sector, agriculture diversification in India. Number 1, suitable price protection. Prices of fruits and vegetables fluctuate widely. Hence, farmers have to bear a lot of risk. They are not then interested to grow such crops. The government should provide the farmers adequate protection through suitable support price. Number 2, suitable storage facilities. Fruits and vegetables are highly perishable agricultural crops. Insufficient and suitable storage facilities are not available. Farmers will not come up to produce these crops adopting diversified agriculture. To encourage farmers in adopting diversified farming, the government should provide adequate storage facilities. Number 3, infrastructural and institutional facilities. Basic infrastructural facilities of road, transportation, power supply, irrigation, etc. should also be made available. There should also be facilities for institutional credit on easy terms. Supply of information and technology. New and suitable technologies for agricultural diversification should be solved, should be modernized. For this, emphasis should be given on research, training, and information. The result of various researches should be circulated among the farmers. Information on these matters should be available to the farmers. Then they will be encouraged to adopt diversified farming. Next, system of crop insurance. Output and price of crops under diversified agriculture are highly volatile. Hence, to minimize risk associated with output and price, there should be adequate crop insurance coverage. Next, dissemination of information. The farmers should be provided recent and up-to-date information on price, market conditions, government facilities, export procedures, production technique, seed variety, etc. Information is power. Correct and timely information on crop diversification will enable a farmer to reduce risk and avoidable cost on the one hand, and to increase output and income on the other. Therefore, we can say that the prospect of agricultural diversification in India depend largely on effectiveness of the measures we have mentioned a favorable change in attitude of the farmers towards agricultural diversification, together with necessary technological, infrastructural, institutional, and administrative measures, can expand agricultural diversification. And it can bring prosperity to our predominantly poor rural India. Thank you.